to another episode of Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. We are on episode 138, and today we are going to be diving into how to feel fabulous at any age. But first, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Your Guided Health Journey. Did you know your body speaks to you? It doesn't speak in English, it speaks in symptoms, trying to alert you to the fact that something isn't quite right, as it asks you to pay attention and do something different. The problem is we are so busy we don't pay attention. Instead, we consider the symptoms to be aging or seasonal allergies or genetics and keep on going with our daily lives, ignoring the early warning signs. Your Guided Health Journey works with the entire English-speaking world to help you get to the root cause of the symptoms through having you discover your toxic load and using the power of functional medicine lab tests mailed to your home, and then providing a personalized wellness protocol to guide your body back into balance and literally turning back time to have you feel amazing again. Getting older is inevitable, but feeling older is your choice. Get started today by taking the free Discover Your Toxic Load quiz to learn how your body is talking to you and asking you to do things differently. Discover your toxic load at www.welcome.yourguidedhealthjourney.com/your toxic load. And of course, we will have all of that information and more available to you today at your fingertips. So let me get started with our wonderful guest that we have today, Tracy Gold. I met her about a year ago. Tracy and I met, and I just fell in love with her right away. There's just something about her vibrant personality, the way she shows up online, her beautiful heart that she has is so big to help others. But in addition to that, she has just a fabulous accent that I know all of you will fall in love with. So let me tell you a little bit about Tracy. She's an entrepreneur, speaker, and TV presenter. She created her YouTube channel, Tracy Gold Fashion Tips, to inspire women over 40 to look and feel fabulous regardless of their age. In just 2 years, she grew her following to more than 20,000 subscribers with over 2 million views. Tracy is vetted on-air guest host for QVC and was handpicked by Katy Perry to represent her shoe collection on QVC. Awesome. I love Katy Perry. Tracy started the Tracy Gold Show to offer her audience inspiring interviews and lifestyle tips that will help them thrive in midlife and beyond. The show is now streaming across more than 100 platforms on 1.4 billion smart TVs worldwide. Tracy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Colleen. It's so wonderful to be here.
You know, looking and feeling great at any age is an interesting concept, because I think as, we were younger, we look at our grandma and grandpas as being old. And now I'm a grandma and I'm not old, right? I looked back at when I was young and what my grandma and grandpa looked to me. And so even talking about our sponsor today with Your Guided Health Journey, and her talking about it's not part of the aging process to feel these creaks and, to like say, oh, I'm getting old, so that's why I don't get up as fast anymore, or I'm getting old and that's why I don't pop out of bed as quick as I used to. You could feel great at any age, right? Age is just a number.
Yeah, yeah. And in fact, you can take that to style as well. I mean, I was a little bit laughing under my breath as you were, talking about your sponsor today, because I was thinking, well, also to give up on style is also an option. It's an
Yes, it is.
optional. We don't have to give up on how we look and how we feel in order to feel fabulous. I mean, we can choose to wear beautiful clothes that suit our body shape, and learn how to do our makeup in a way that works with our skin and works with our beautiful features, and highlight those things and feel fabulous regardless of age. And I actually feel, Colleen, I don't know about you, but I just turned 48 and I'm feeling better than I've ever felt.
Same. So I turned 49 this year.
Ah,
So in less than 4 months, or in 4 months, I will be 50. Big
yes,
celebration, right? And
yes.
I look at my husband's 60 and I'm going to be 50. So we're 10 years apart exactly. And I look at our lives and I think, when he was 50 and I was 40. And, we were in Taekwondo and,
Mhm.
getting our black belts and working out all the time and, in competition and beating up other people in rings. And I think, we were out there at what, some of the older people in the ring. And I think, I'm in better shape than some of these 30-year-old women is what I was thinking in my mind. And then I thought,
Mm.
how is my husband keeping up with me? Because here I'm turning 50 and he was getting his black belt back, and I'm starting like, whoa, I'm starting to slow down a little bit. So talk to me about some of the things that you've seen over the years, Tracy, of what has happened when women have frankly just given up on themselves, given up on
Yeah.
their lives, given up on their futures, given up on what their wants and needs are, and making themselves, feel beautiful or doing things for themselves that make them just feel,
Mm.
sexy.
Yeah, yeah. Colleen, I think that there's a couple of things. I think that we have to be real about the culture that we live in, and the culture that we live in celebrates youth. It looks to that as if that is beautiful. And I think we have, as women, we have so many messages coming at us that are saying that, well, now it's time to give up. It's too late for you. You can't look and feel fabulous. So I think that's one thing. But then I think there's another part of that is that we take that on. We accept it. I just did an interview with a woman the other day, and when she was saying, she's an African American woman, and she says, I know ageism exists. I know that racism exists. I know that sexism exists. I just don't think I have to take it on. I don't have to make it who I am. And I was thinking, wow, that's powerful. Because what I'm seeing now is that this group of women, our generation, are living longer, better, younger, more fabulous than ever before. So we don't really have women who have gone before us to show us how to do this thing because we're very different from our mothers and our grandmothers. But we're also saying, F it. I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to do it well. And I'm going to live my life and I'm going to thrive. And I think then there's some of us who want to do that, who know that it's possible, but we just don't know how. And I think that's where this kind of discussion, your podcast, my show, is so important because it shows women that they're not alone in this process. They are with a whole generation of women who are trying to figure out how to do this thing. And I feel like if we band together and we start supporting one another and we start talking openly about this stuff, we can disband this whole myth that as women over 40, 50, 60 and beyond, that we're no good. Do you know, Colleen, I work with another media company who gave me statistics, and this is, I mean, they've done the proper research. Do you know that people over 50 in America alone, in the US alone, their spending power, they spend over $400 billion more a year than
Hmm.
any other demographic
Yes.
than any other demographic. So, like, why is it that the brands are still so obsessed with the younger people? Because we're the ones with the money. And
Right.
I feel like the more we as women step into our power
Hmm.
and take it up, the brands are going to follow.
Yeah, I
The brands are going to
agree.
wake up, you
Yeah.
know?
And I think, even in business, so many women are deciding when their children are older, when their children
Mm,
have graduated high school, have, are in college, that now is their time to maybe start that business they wanted to start because it was going to
yeah,
take some more of their time and focus and they wanted to focus more on their children when they were at home. So, I look at when I leaped from corporate America in my 40s and just really I felt like started this whole new side of my life,
mm,
and really started from that point of not started over because it's my skills and my knowledge and my experience that all led up to that point, right? So all
mm,
those previous years were so important. But then I look at women that I work with and the demographic and lead up for women, and we are all women that are generally over 40 that are
yeah,
building big businesses and impacting the world, and we're just getting started. And some of
Oh,
the
we're just
ladies are
getting
in their
started. Yeah.
60s and in their 70s. I mean, I look at where the age I'm at now, and we know the age of how long we can live now, which is much further than it was in the past when people were dying at, your grandparents were dying at 50 or 60 or 70.
Mm.
Now we're living to like 90, 100 and beyond. I just am barely embarking on the 50% line, the halfway mark of my life. Halfway. I still have
Ex-
half of my whole life.
exactly. Exactly, Colleen. And that's the thing I think women are realizing. Is like we've been fed this garbage, about, oh, you're now over the hill. Well, now they're starting to talk about three stages of life. So there's, before you're 40, and then there's 40 to kind of 70. And it's not even based on your age. It's really based on how healthy you are, how mobile you are, how interactive in your community you are, whether you're out working, whether you're doing things, whether you're part of something greater than yourself, whatever that means, whatever community or giving back or whatever portion that means, or whatever that means to you. But essentially, and then they're looking at the third stage, which is then when you can do less, you have maybe some health challenges, and it's not even based on age, because I know
Mhm.
people in their 70s and 80s who are still absolutely doing it. They're still healthy, they're still exercising, they're still engaging, they're working, they run businesses. I mean, I think we just have so many choices these days, but I think as women we need to step up, and we need to take up our power, and we need to say, yeah, I'm only halfway through.
Mhm.
What do I
Yeah.
want to do with the rest of it?
Retirement's a choice, and I've had
Mm.
so many people ask my husband and I, what are you guys going to do when you retire? Because we love what we do, both of our businesses. And I said, I feel like I am retired. So whatever that means, right? Retirement means I get to do what I love. So that's my definition of it, without anyone telling me what time I need to do it or what time I need to be there, right? I get to choose my life's path and doing what I do and the impact I have on people and how many clients I work with or at a time,
Mm.
when I go on vacation. So for me, that's the definition of retirement in my life. So you look at, if you retire from life, if you retire um from your fashion, if retire from your looks or your feeling or your health, if you retire from any of those by definition, which is kind of stepping
Mm.
away and retiring from those, if you do that, then you're giving up on yourself, you're giving up on your dreams, you're giving up on. I look at it this way, Tracy. If you're still alive on this earth, God has still put you in a position where you're still here to deliver your purpose. If you're not
Yeah.
on this earth, you've delivered your purpose, and now He needs you in another place stronger, right? For some other
Yeah.
purpose. But you need to be here today for that
Yeah.
purpose. And if you're here, there's no retiring from that. We just
Yeah.
we keep going and we keep delivering and we keep living. The word actually living, not just surviving. Surviving is having health challenges and giving up on our bodies or giving up on our weight or giving up on our fashion or giving up on our businesses or giving up on our family or relationships. That's to me, that's just barely scraping by. But thriving
Yeah.
in life and living, actually living our lives, we can feel amazing no matter what it means. Does it mean that you feel amazing in a specific luxury car? Does it mean you feel amazing in a specific jumpsuit or dress that you own, or wearing eyelashes, right? I wear
Mm.
eyelashes because I feel amazing having long eyelashes. It's something that I absolutely love, right? I love to get a pedicure, and I feel amazing and young and vibrant when I hang around my grandkids. So I would ask the
Yeah.
listeners, write down some things that make you feel young and vibrant and amazing or sexy or whatever that is, and start adding, dabbling that into your life if you're starting to feel like age is grasping a hold of you.
Yeah. And I take that further as well, Colleen. I think, I do midlife makeovers. So I help women who are at midlife, who feel midlife and beyond. They feel that they've kind of just lost their sense of style, or they just don't know what to do. I did a makeover just recently. And in fact, that episode is going to launch on our show on Friday, for Thanksgiving, which is really exciting. I did a makeover on a musician. She's this amazing, talented folk singer. And during COVID lockdown, she let her hair go gray. And she loved her hair growing gray. She said, my hair actually feels like it's my hair. She says it felt more real. But she was also aware, she did a gig, as we were coming out of lockdown, she did an in-person gig and people had taken photographs of her and she was horrified. She was absolutely horrified with how she looked. She said she had never looked that bad in her life. And I'm saying this because she says this on the video, so I can relay it. I'm not telling confidential stuff. And what I found so interesting is that through her process, we helped her, I helped her create a look that really represents who she is at this stage of her life. And man, I tell you, she took the stage, Colleen, like, because I did the makeover for her and then we recreated the look for her next performance. And you should have heard what her friends had to say, because these are people who know her and they were just blown away. They said things like, she took up her space on her space on stage. She had such a level of confidence. Her energy was amazing. She looked amazing, but her performance was enhanced because she felt good about herself. And I think, that I really say kudos to her because she recognized that, hey, I don't know how to do this thing. And my face has changed and the makeup lesson that I had many years ago, isn't relevant now. So she got some help and she learned how to do it. And now she has some things in her closet that she really loves that she can throw on. She has a little bit of makeup. She doesn't have to have a lot of stuff. We often think we have to make these massive changes to feel good. Well, actually, we just got her probably about 5 products, Colleen, that are changing the way she looks, and like 1 hair product. That was it. That's all she needed, And I think we just need to be real with ourselves and say, hey, like if we're struggling in an area, maybe it's in an area of, I don't know what work I want to do, or I don't know what's next. Go and get yourself a coach. Go and speak to somebody, join Lead Up for Women where you were around a couple of, lots of different women doing it. Surround yourself with women who are your supporters, not your competitors, right? Because I think as women, we can be pretty competitive with one another. And I think, speak about these things and get the assistance that you need because you deserve it. Because you deserve to look and feel fabulous at every age and every stage of your life.
And I think let's give some tips to our listeners now about some things that they can do just quick. And I think the number one thing that Tracy just talked about is the most important thing, which is as we age, we change. As we mature, we change. As our children mature, we change. So embrace the change and look and check in with the friends that you have today. Who's the tribe that you're hanging around with? Is it still relative that those are the right friends for you? Are you hanging around women that are gossipers, that maybe have a lot of negative space and they're keeping you in a negative space or holding you back to the good old days? Everyone knows those women. Holding you back to the good old days. As you start changing, remember, you shed layers, and our friends hold on to those layers so hard because they don't want to see you change. But for us to evolve and become a better version of ourselves, we do change over time as we mature. So I think the number one thing is check in on your tribe and make sure that the tribe you're hanging out with is a positive space for you. They're fueling your success. When you talk about starting your own business, they don't make fun of you or tell you you're going to be a failure or why would you do that or any of those things. They're just there to support you on, help you, get resources for you. Check in on your tribe and see who's there. What's another good tip, Tracy?
Yeah, I think that's so good because I just want to say something else about that, Colleen, is that, I've been a stylist for 17 years and I've worked with all different types of women. And sometimes what I have found is that women come to me in search of a change, but if they make this change, they feel safe with me to create that new look, to explore what that looks like and to take it on. But when they go home and then they go back into their community, if they don't have a support cast, they just go back to what used to be because the pressure is just way too much. So I think it's so true what you say is make sure that the people that you have around you are supporting you and want what's best for you and will allow you to grow and to change and to evolve as the woman that you are. I
Yeah.
think the other thing is, and I've already um, spoken about this a little bit, but I'd love to hear your approach to this as well, Colleen, is getting help when you need it. I think as women, we struggle. We kind of keep very quiet about the struggles that we have. One of the reasons why I started the Tracy Gold show is because I wanted to show women that you're not the only one feeling this way. You're not the only one who's afraid or feeling invisible. You're not the only one feeling like, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? You're not the only one wanting more,
Yeah. We should start a show
you know?
together, Tracy, called Real Women, Real Problems, because bladder
Yeah.
control is a real problem when you get older. It's a real problem. I'm just going to share that
Mm,
right now, right? So,
yeah.
those types of things, I have no problems because I'm not embarrassed about my body. I'm not embarrassed what God has given me and where it is today. And so for me, I have no problems talking to other women about, when they're like, oh, I can't jump on the trampoline. I'll totally pee my pants and I'll be like, oh, I had a bladder lift. Have you heard of that? And they're like, no, what is that? Right. So we're starting to share information with each other so that they understand what that means. And I tell them the challenges I went through and why I had made the
Yeah.
decision. So we're educating each other, we're helping each other, we're sharing our secrets that we have on.
Mm,
I've learned so much from just women that are open and want to have those conversations because we are real women. We have real problems. And the more that we talk about them openly and honest with other people, the more we can get advice on what it is that we need to do for our lives and not be embarrassed about it.
yeah, and I think sometimes we think that the things that we're struggling with, we just have to put up with, right? Because there's no solution. Well, if you speak to your girlfriends or you speak to other women, find out, oh, they actually have the same problem. And oh, hey, a bladder lift is a thing and it
Mm-hmm.
is a possibility. I know with even simple things like hair. I mean, there was a woman I was working with on my show with a specific brand, and she was suffering from hair, she was experiencing hair loss. And I said to her, how did that feel? And she goes, I just thought that was just something I had to, accept, until she found out, well, actually, there's some amazing, really great products that could help make her hair grow
Mm-hmm.
back. And they did.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, wow, like how sad that would have been if she had had this continual receding hairline that she felt self-conscious about. And listen, if you don't feel self-conscious about it, don't change it, right? I mean, it's only if
Yeah.
you feel self-conscious about it. But she did, and she found out that there were ways of fixing that. And I was like, wow, you could have had years and years and years of hair loss, or you could have had these
Mm-hmm.
products that will help you get fuller, healthier hair. And
Yeah.
she has fuller, healthier hair now. So I think that's something so important, is that you don't know who somebody else knows, right? You don't know what solution somebody else has found the solution to, that
Right.
they have the same problem as you. And if we
Yeah.
stay inward, Colleen, if we suffer in silence, and I think that is a thing with us women, we don't talk about these things, then we're never going to learn. We're never going to be able to figure this thing out, because we're doing this thing differently. We're doing the aging thing differently.
Yeah. And if you don't ask, you don't get. That's what I say, right? So don't
Mm.
be, so feeling like your pride that you couldn't possibly ask another female. I ask all kinds of questions of females. I learn from so many other females ahead of me. That's the other thing. Do you have any female friends or acquaintances that are 5 years older than you, 10 years older than you,
Yes.
15 years older than you? What have they gone through? What's coming, right? We talk about gravity. Oh no, everything starts, sliding to the ground. We talk about collagen and elasticity in our skin and
Mm,
losing the elasticity. I have to tell you, it's interesting because I've looked at photos of me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and then I look at photos of me today. And my aging has actually gotten better based on products that people have, presented me with, told me about, that are anti-aging products that I never thought about in my 30s. But in my 40s,
mm,
as I started aging, it's like, whoa, hey, I need to start thinking about that. And then when you start using those products, it makes a huge difference. And I
yeah.
actually feel happier, healthier. I pay more attention to my health. I have more independent time because my children are grown and married. So I have more time to exercise, more time to spend working on my love life with my husband. I mean, there's a lot of things that bring us joy. And some of those are just spending time reading or journaling or hiking or time with our loved one, and these are things that can help you with aging. I mean, because you're smiling and you're happier and we're not frowning and we're not sad and we're not retiring, from life.
Yes.
There's so many things we can do that fill us with, let's talk about the word fun. Having
Yes.
fun in your life, laughing.
Man,
Yeah.
Colleen, for me, that is one of my biggest values. And when people speak about me, they often say, "Oh, it's so fun. Like you're fun to be." I'm like, "This was fun." I use the word fun probably several times every day because if I'm not having fun doing my work, if I'm not having fun doing my exercise, I mean, it's one of my challenges because I have to really enjoy it. So I find I discovered hula hooping the other day. I was like, wow. I mean, I was really struggling with, just gaining weight around my tummy because of COVID. And I live in New York City. And so I walk a lot and I'm up and down stairs and, I wasn't doing that kind of stuff. And even though I was working out from home, I wasn't getting the same level of activity. And I'm getting a bit older. That becomes a thing. And I was like, man, what am I going to do? And I had, a weight training program and I was like, okay, I'll do it. All right. But then I found this weighted hula hoop. Oh my goodness. It was like so much fun. And I lost like 5 centimeters. I lost 2 inches around my belly and my
Wow.
waist in a few weeks. So that was fun. Why does it have to be torture?
Right.
Why can't it be fun? My
It
thing is
doesn't
like,
have to be burpees. It doesn't have to be burpees.
doesn't have to be burpees. Can I find a way of making this fun? And maybe the way of making it fun is putting a good playlist together. Maybe it's, finding a dance class that you love, which is also one of my other favorite things. I think let's say we're allowed to have fun. Let's be
Mhm.
playful in our lives. And I think, Colleen, one of the best things about getting older, and I've heard this from so many women, so I know many women feel this way, we actually don't care as much what
Mm-mm.
other people think. So embrace that, use that, create the life that you want to live with less concern with what other people think. Because I promise you, girlfriend, they're not that concerned about you.
Yeah,
They're
it's the
concerned
truth.
about, they're overwhelmed with their own lives. They're not judging you. And if they're
Yeah.
judging you, let me tell you, Colleen, I have a YouTube channel. You want to find a platform where people are judgy with one another? It's YouTube. And I've had some horrendous comments. You know how I see it now? Wow, that person felt so strongly about this that they took all that time to put down, to write down, to type out a rude comment.
They're paying attention to you. Isn't that interesting how, it's a compliment. They're paying attention to you, felt like they needed to put all that effort into you. And we all know when someone makes comments toward us that aren't good comments, it's a reflection of really how they feel about themselves. And
Yeah,
so when you remember that and you're rubber, it's just like I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks back on you, just like when we were, in elementary school on recess. So just
yeah,
remember that in your life as you get older, be the best you can possibly be the strongest you can possibly be, because this is your life. Remember, this is
yes,
yours. How you live it and what you say to yourself on the last days before you die of regret that you may have had because you didn't live it to the fullest. It's only your choice. Remember
it
that. No
is
one's coming.
exactly that. Yes, yes. And you have the power, Colleen. I think that's
Oh
the
yeah.
thing. Listen, this is what I'm so excited about. I tell you, I mean, we can talk about a lot of the things that we need to do, but I am seeing women coming out of COVID. I think so many of us we lost such a lot. I mean, me included. We lost a lot. We lost people, we lost jobs, we lost positions, we lost a lot of things that we weren't expecting. We also had an opportunity to really think about what it is that we want and how we want to live our lives going forward. And what I'm seeing is that as women are emerging out of this space, they're coming out anew and they're going, you know what? It's now time.
Mhm.
It's time for me to live the life that I wanted. Because what am I going to do with the life that I have left? If you've made it through COVID, if you've been able to, a lot of people died. A lot of people lost their lives. So now we're coming out of this and we're going, wow, now I'm going to live it. I'm going to live it to the full. And I'm seeing women take up their power in ways that I have never seen
Mm-hmm.
before. And
Same.
I am so excited about that. And so I just want to challenge all of you out there. If you are one of those women who feel that you are taking up your power, share that with other women, because there are other women who feel like they're not there yet. So
That's right.
share your story with them, encourage them, let them know that they can do that too. And then find support for yourself. Like what you said, Colleen, do you have friends that are 10, 15 years older than you, 20 years older than you, and younger than you? Do you have
Mhm.
cross-generational friends? Are you keeping your mind alert? Are you staying around people who uplift you and make you feel good about yourself? If
Yeah.
those things are there, man, girl, you're going to do amazing things, incredible things,
Agreed.
and you're going to help other women do the same.
Agreed. So I got to ask the question, right? Ladies out there and gentlemen, are you living your life by design or by default?
Mm,
So design the life that you desire, design the closet that you desire, design the hair that way that you want to have your hair, right? Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, whether the style is long or short or blonde or dark. Do what you love. You know, I love it when I see someone that has pink highlights in their hair or
yes.
peekaboo little. It's like good for you. For there was a time in my life where I was told I couldn't have my hair a certain way working in
Mm,
corporate America. I can design my life by any design that I want it today, wear any clothes I want to wear, feel however I want to feel. So design your life the way you want it to be. And Tracy, because you help so many people design their life as, a stylist, talk to us a little bit about how can our listeners reach you? What's the best way for them to find you on YouTube, to subscribe, to learn more about your tips? Tell us everything so we can give them
Thanks
that
so much for
information
that.
now.
Yeah, and thanks for asking, Colleen. So, I mean, I do a couple of different things. So I have three businesses, but essentially for the show, if you want really uplifting content, I see uplifting interviews. I've got a series that's about to launch, Out and About to New York, which is really showcasing some ordinary people with inspiring stories. All of that is going to be on my YouTube show, on my YouTube channel, Tracy Gold Show. It's also on streaming platforms, so you can get it on Binge TV app, you can get it on Roku, you can get it on Amazon Fire. And then if you are interested in taking that further, if you feel like you need help with your look, then you can go to tracygoldfashiontips.com and you can find some information there. And you know what? Email me. It's really easy to contact me through
That's great.
LinkedIn, Tracy Gold, whatever. Find me. You'll easily find me, and feel free to reach out because I'm always open to helping women.
Thank you, Tracy. And for all of you ladies and gentlemen listening, we have all of that information at your fingertips for you just to be able to click on that. If you're watching this live on Facebook, the video is there. You get to go see Tracy's beautiful face. All of her links are there as well. So make sure you connect with her, at least connect with her on some of her channels so you can get some of her tips and follow her, because that's how we learn. I always say if learning is beneath you, then leadership is beyond you, and we need to
Yeah.
consistently be learning. So, again, Tracy, thank you for being here today while we talk all about feeling fabulous at any age. And ladies, remember this: you are the only you that has ever been. You are the only brilliant you that will ever be. So, how you pioneer your future is up to you. Do not
Mm,
have any regrets at the end. Let's feel fabulous at every age until we progress to the end of our life and die knowing that we lived every day to the fullest. So until
yeah.
next time, ladies, be you and be strong. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye bye for now.
Take care. Bye.